Welcome back. So I have a couple packages that arrived today. One was a ComC order, which for some reason my orders get to me pretty quick whenever I purchase from them. And the other was an individual card. Actually, three packages. Two of them were individuals, and then there's a ComC order. So some really interesting cards here. Some fillers of stuff I didn't have on the cheap end, but also some harder to find things. Nothing crazy expensive, but a couple of really tough additions for the collection. So let's jump right in and see what I was able to pick up. So the first is from Topps American Pie, and this was in 2002. Just a base card of Hank in his Pirates uniform, actually. But I did not have a copy of this card, so I figured I'd pick one up. Next up, from 2005, Timeless Treasures by Donruss. This is not a relic, obviously, but it is numbered 263 of 500. It's a nice numbered insert that I did not have. Next up, from 2002 Cooperstown, if I remember correctly. I have other parallels of this card. I did not have the blue parallel. So I figured I'd add it, and it is numbered 51 of 499. And for tribute, this is a little beat up, which is why it was cheap. 2011. The green parallel numbered to 75. Did not have the green parallel. And I actually picked up another one of these. This is from this year's Historic Autographs 1945 set release. Now, the interesting thing with this card is that I now have the same card, but three different colored relics, or uniform swatches, whatever you want to call them. So that was basically the reason why I went after this. It was cheap, for one, and it was a different color than what I already had. So kind of just finding something interesting to go after on the cheap. So that was another relic card for Greenberg. Now let's get into some really, really hard, surprisingly hard, Rosen items. So this first one, tiny one, is a 1950 R423. This is number 85 in the set. This is orange back. I have a couple of Greenbergs for this. And Greenberg is actually much, much more common than Rosen. If I were to send this to PSA, it would be the fifth one total that they've graded, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. So there's only 4 of these have been graded by PSA. I'll send this to PSA or SGC or one of those just to get it slabbed up. But a nice little rookie card for Al Rosen that you don't really see too much of. And this one is also not common at all. This is the 1952 Num Num hand cut without tab. So the tab has been removed. And a PSA 5. So it's a hand cut card. The total PSA pop without the tab is 8. And this being a 5, that means there's only 3 higher than this one. Now, if I get one with the tab, which I plan on doing at some point, there's actually, you're talking about double the numbers. It's a pop 15 with the tab. But without the tab, in this grade, there's only 3 higher. Another surprisingly tough addition to the Rosen collection. So Not a ton of items. A couple of really tough Rosen editions. The smallest one and a mid-sized one, if you will. And basically, again, just knocking out some of the Greenberg cards that I just didn't have on the cheap. So I'm trying to expand the collection a little bit, but stick to a relatively tight budget. Again, nothing here was crazy. The Num Num you don't see a lot of, obviously, whether with tab or without tab. This one was actually very reasonably priced. I know ComC is pretty hit and miss with regard to pricing, but this one in particular was a very good price, especially in comparison to previous sales. So I was happy to add it for the price I did. This was a cheap make and offer, and these were very inexpensive editions, especially with how this card is basically cut in half in price since its release. So those are the additions to the PC this time around. And until next time, please remember to collect what you enjoy what you collect, and don't let anybody, especially the market or a YouTuber, dictate that to you. And most importantly, have fun. And have fun by being active in this community. So find your way of participating, whether it's making videos, watching and commenting, going to live streams, group chats, going to your LCS or local card show, or simply talking about the hobby with family and friends. The more you put into it, the more you'll get out of it. The more you'll learn, the more your PC will grow, the more people you'll meet, and the more fantastic friendships you'll form. So I thank you very much for joining me. Hope to see you again. Have a good one, and bye for now.